Business over drinks. Business over drinks. This is Dave and Terng. This is business over drinks. This is business over drinks.
Yep.
Would you be afraid of partnering with a friend and ruining the friendship?
Yes and no. So I think I've actually partnered on a couple of stuff. So like where I've started a travel platform, Travel Wanderlust, with one of my friends. I call him friend, but I'm going to send him his podcast because I just want to tell him that he's a bit of an asshole. I mean,
I've been there. You said it to his face.
Yeah, every multiple times, man. Like Dave, you and I started Business Over Drinks. Like we have this. So
yeah.
I've known you for years.
Yeah.
I'm not against it. I don't think there's anything wrong with starting a business venture with someone who can add value to it. But I think trying to start something because you're friends and not because it makes sense is the wrong thing to do.
Mm.
So that shouldn't be the primary goal. You can be a friend. I don't really mind. That doesn't really bother me at all.
Yep.
What about you? What's one of the biggest fuck ups you made, man?
One biggest fuck ups I made. So there's a quick one before I do the main one. Quick one is I said a joke in a boardroom once. Like everyone was saying, you know when you're in a boardroom and people start taking turns saying jokes. I forgot.
No, man. What is this? Is this like some sort of weird Australian thing that I'm unaware of? Something?
But don't people laugh in Singapore? Like in a boardroom, like before you do the actual meeting, people take turns. Like they say, there's a bit of banter. So there's a bit of banter.
Obviously, you haven't been to many boardrooms in Singapore, man. There's no such thing. Banter's not even a word in Singapore. You know what they do in meetings? They just talk about work. And then they just repeat that same question over and over again. It still takes a long time, but there's no banter. Like, oh, hey, how are you? They're like, oh, good, work.
Oh man, I'd hate to work for your company, man. I've been to your meeting. Your meeting is no one even looks at each other. You're all just not even talking. You're actually working. It's not even a meeting. It's just people working.
No, because I told my staff if they look me in the eye, then they have to do more work. So they won't look me in the eye anymore. It's like, no. I mean, we talk, we have good comments. Honestly, our meetings are basically just to make sure that we know each other exists.
I actually like the structure of your meetings. For those who don't know, so Terng, those who haven't listened to other episodes, Terng's structure is like very mobile. You don't have a head office, and you meet with, is it once a week? You meet with your employees in Singapore once a week, and you guys just hammer it out in a cafe. I think it's an awesome structure, and it's great for the staff who like that kind of lifestyle. Anyway, this one there's banter, right? So in a normal boardroom that I'm used to, people say jokes. People allowed to say jokes. And then when it was my turn, everyone just stopped laughing. It just stopped. Everyone was laughing really hard. And then when I said a line, everyone completely stopped. That was a really humiliating experience. I forgot what the joke I said was. It must have been terrible. Anyway, to the main fuck up, it's in the same company. I was writing because I was the communications guy for the national network of all their distributors, franchises, and stuff, and I was responsible for the newsletter. And I didn't spell check 2 words, and then for some reason they combined to spell the word cunt, like cunt. And one of the guys rang me up as soon as this national newsletter went out. Hey, it was a sentence like, you are a CUN, something like that. And then I went, oh, yeah, I didn't last in that company very long.
So hold on. It was an autocorrect, or did you just use the word CUNT?
Yeah, like it was either, I think it could have been a Freudian slip. Maybe I was just angry at the people I was writing the newsletter to.
Yeah, man. I think that sounds like the fact that you're not sure it happens just sounds like you really wanted it to happen. But you're just like, oh no, it was an accident. No, but you're just like, yeah, come on, man. So like I've had big fuck ups like that, man. Like I've done really stupid things in my career. I don't call this a fuck up, but this is a fuck up to everyone else. I think I would I honestly feel like I would do the same thing, but I had a boss who was, the kindest way to describe this guy was an idiot.
Okay.
A more honest way to describe this guy was,
Say, what's his full name?
no, so he was like high, like really well educated, like his CV. If you had his CV, you're legit sorted out, right, in life. But if you speak to him, you find out he's got nothing beyond his qualifications. Like, he doesn't know anything about business. He doesn't know anything about marketing. He doesn't know anything about technology, but he claims to be an expert in everything. Like a minute's conversation, you'd be like, you don't know anything. I'm talking to you. You don't know anything. Yeah. He's what you call a dumb investor as well. So like, people just take his money and stuff. We had a conversation once where he was blaming me for an issue, because apparently something like the client hadn't signed a document and like confirmed everything. And he was blaming me because I had, after a long flight, I had sent him all the information, and then I'd gone to bed because I hadn't slept for like 36 hours. I still sent him everything. I made sure I sent him everything with clear instructions what to do. And I even told him that, hey, when I land, you'll get it. So I'll be landing quite late. Just make sure you're ready for it. He refused to admit that he just forgot about it. He made a big fuss. And then I pointed out that it was actually his fault, because he should have, first of all, the client would have signed it if he showed up for the meeting, which he didn't show up for. The other part was, and this was the best part, I think he tried to threaten me. Something like, hey, you're going to fire me or something like that.
Yep.
And I said, yeah, go for it, because you're a fucking idiot.
Did you say those words?
Yeah. I've called him a fucking idiot to his face. This is not the only time I've done something like that as well.
Yeah.
The others I don't consider mistakes as well, because first of all, they're not mistakes because nothing bad happened to me. In those cases, this case, like I already knew I was kind of on the way out. I was definitely on the way out after I called him a fucking idiot. And I'll still do it again. I really think I'd do it again. If I was in the same position, I'd do it again. Because
that probably wasn't a mistake then.
Everyone I've ever told the story to, including my colleagues who supported me during that point, were like, yeah, that's a mistake, man. You shouldn't have done that. I'm like, but is it though? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, but is it? They're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, gun to your head, is it? They're like, yeah. I'm like, okay. Like, they're like 6 times it's a mistake.
But why was it bad? You burnt a bridge.
Well, no, I mean, like, it kind of accelerated my way out of the company. It's also, I mean, you really shouldn't call your boss a fucking idiot, even if they're, and then everybody will call everyone a fuck. I'm sure half my team will call me that. I'm very sure half my team will call me that. Right. And like, in some cases, maybe you're not, maybe your staff doesn't quite understand the decisions you make, because you're thinking about the entirety of the company and they're thinking about themselves. Right. So
that's actually a big insecurity I had when I had a team. I was like, do these guys hate my guts?
They did, man. They did. Like, I can tell you for sure that they did. Like, no one liked you personally, just as a person, not being a boss, just as a person, they didn't like you.
As a human being on this planet.
Yeah. It was just like, I wish Dave wasn't here. Just wish Dave wasn't here. In existence.
Wish you never born.